cool, right? Want to know where I got it? Well, look, go to cs.money. It's a trade platform and a marketplace at the same time. Just choose, click, and get. Good luck, bro.
Case. Big update and new features in the case battles. Updated and convenient interface with new options. Up to 4 users can participate in one battle now. Create and customize your battles, any number and any type of cases. Choose the number of participants and invite your friends with a unique link. Watch the best drop and win everything. Don't miss epic battles on Hellcase.
If NIP just connect the first couple shots, then it's going to be very devastating. Look at that, you can't just run through choke points, James.
Nice play from him, and you see get right, just make an aggressive play towards short B. He's in that position, the door is open, he's going to get a 2-man spray down eventually. Those extra bullets coming in handy, and there's his rifle upgrade. Kaze jumping straight into position, that is absolute suicide. They'll use a smoke towards Arch, so maybe they will just try to burst onto the A bomb site. There are 3 people here basically. Zombie going for a flank as MBK pushes through the smoke. He's got Zyru for support in the graveyard position as well, filling all the coffins of Spirit players.
Smoke cover is actually working out. RPK is going to get one. That forces Chopper out into Alex, and it's all lining up. Alex picks up another one, and the 3rd kill. Charge finally works in again. Simple down to electronic line up all 3. This is an incredible retake so far. Zeus with only 1, but it is Simple left alive. Wasn't capable last time. This time he might be.
Oh my God!
What is that transfer on the 3rd? And Simple hits Cirque as well?
Hello everyone and welcome to day 4 of the StarSeries Season 7 event. We had 3 teams looking to make it through and 3 will have to go home. It's the final day before we hit the playoffs. My name is James Banks and I am your host. And on the desk to kick things off today, we've got an on-fire foreign, but not from the production side of things, just on fire in general as always. Yes. And we've got Pimp who's ready and waiting. Good to have you guys back. And yesterday, it was quite an interesting affair of games, right?
Simple was on fire. By the way, neither of us are involved with Semler and all those washed-up guys who used to get a lot of money back in the day. No, we're talking about at the moment he was on fire. Yeah, I thought, sadly, I got the more like chilled-out games in the morning. We're going to see some of these teams now. Yeah. Those last 2 series, I was watching some of them in the hotel. They were amazing. Yeah,
especially when we saw the Ents one at the end, right? Ents going up against FaZe. Yeah. What an absolutely brilliant way to end the day with. And the thing is, it's again Ents proving that, yes, we are a legit team. You can't be calling us a fluke all the time. And especially as FaZe were looking better this tournament.
I tell you what, I know the fans, for whatever bizarre reason, just some of them don't understand Counter-Strike, think that Yanko's like a terrible coach or whatever. Go watch MIBR before Yanko joined. Go watch them now when he's not there. Go watch FaZe before Yanko joined. Go watch them at this tournament. I tell you what, if the guy, if he doesn't know what he's doing, then he trips over in teams, he just get lucky and they do really well. Like, so I think he's doing a pretty good job because FaZe is looking dangerous again. I hope they make the playoffs.
Yeah, I definitely agree. I mean, they look way more solid yesterday, and they look like they have a direction or path to follow at least. And I think that's one of the most important things that he brings into a team, right? He gives them a direction, he gives them a lead of where he wants them to go for the future. And you can clearly see how they're trying to approach that. Still not there yet, you know, he's still not fully activating a guy like Rain, Nico for that matter as well. Olaf Meister still lacks a little bit, but it's getting there slowly but surely.
Now, look at this on your scoreboards at the moment. You've got North, Nip, who made it through. Now, these are the two interesting ones, right? Because North especially have been quite lackluster across the board, certainly not living up to the name. You get a win against an MIBR, but this is a deflated MIBR. This is kind of almost, when you went into this, you'd say it may have been a close match, but really, North definitely had a chance within it. Now I start to worry for them on the matchups they're going to have today. Nip, on the other hand, this is going up against Team Spirit. They're going to be thinking, all right, we got some luck in the draw, but Team Spirit certainly could outfrag them like we saw yesterday with just incredible individual skill coming out from Team Spirit.
I think so. I mean, Team Spirit is a team that I think of having a lot of, as you said, individual skill, but also have a fairly solid foundation. They've been together for a long, long time. A team that hasn't really been breaking through the scene, but always been lurking, you know, in the shadows. And going up against NIP, I think they have, as you said, a decent chance. That said, though, the experience and the know-how and the skill of NIP should be enough to deal with that. If not, then simply NIP is not good enough anymore. And I think that would be a sad conclusion to make after today.
Now, with the matchups we have going on today, right, is it clear-cut, really, or is there going to be some tighter games when we come to it? The first one I look at, really, is maybe potentially looking at the NRG one going up against Big, because Big, yes, they have been having a rough time since Zontaros has come along, but they showed at least they still have the resilience to fight back against the Tyloo that seemingly was starting to push them around.
The problem with that one is, I'll say it, man, I'm a bit out on Tyloo. Like, I do think they have good players.
Sure.
And they started to get exciting, but then it never went anywhere beyond that. Like, it's just that's where it stopped. So the problem with that one is, I actually thought even just how far they got pushed by Tyloo was depressing, actually. It made me really just think, what am I investing my hopes in with Big? Like, they don't really... The worst thing about them, the most critical thing I can say is, they don't look like a cohesive team. They don't look like a team. They just look like individuals, which is crazy to say for a God B lineup, because it doesn't matter whether in the past they had less skill or they didn't have like the top players or whatever. That's something that they always had in God B teams. Like, he knew how to run a squad, people fit their roles. That's why they were able to execute all those like fabulous tactics back in the day.
Yeah, it seems like they lost their direction, pretty simple, and I think that's a big problem and a big part of it right now. Obviously, bringing in Shantaris, you add a lot of more skill to the lineup, but if you can't really fit that into, as you said, you know, this squad feeling or this system that he's trying to implement in Big, well, what is it worth in the end? I think, as you said, you know, Big have been looking more poor as of late, and I think they've lost the direction and maybe finding themselves in somewhat of an identity crisis.
Well, let's see if they can do anything in the little time they've had, but NRG certainly a strong competition for them to go into it. So our opening game, right, Nip going to be taking on Team Spirit. Now, Nip, they've had these up and down performances. They don't have the consistency in terms of players that show up regularly on the server, but I'd say Rez has been an impressive factor for this lineup.
Absolutely. I mean, this is actually a guy where, if you look at his role in the team, he's not really supposed to be one of the star players.
No.
Like, actually, he's supposed to be a guy who just does his job, and then you're supposed to be looking at the others. You're distracted by all the wealth of big names they've got. I actually find he's the most impressive player to me. Like, very, very consistent player, high skill level as well. Like, you see a lot of crazy like pistol kills, really nice precision aim. Still a young guy, but crucially, there's one of the things they've always needed is he's a really driven player, as far as I can tell. Like, you know, there's a lot of the younger crop of Swedish players who came through. They have kind of that laissez-faire attitude, like, you know, if they're hitting and game's going, yeah, they're a good player. If they're not, they just chill back. He's actually a guy who I feel is like pushing NIP forwards, and you see it in the numbers actually. Like, he's the one who, if they're at their best, I expect him to be one of the carries of the team.
You know what's interesting about that stat line right there is you can see he consistently performs better on lane events than he does online, and there's not a lot of players who are able to do that.
Yeah.
It just tells me that he has that, you know, inner fire, he has that inner understanding of how it is to perform when it matters the most. And you can argue as well it's a bad thing that he doesn't perform as well online, but that's, you know, again, experience coming into play. And if he's always going to step up when they're at the lane events, I think you can live with the fact that he maybe underperforms a little bit when it comes to online games.
Now, the map pool of Nip, right, this is something you were very critical on yesterday, Foreign, because they're in a position where some matches they can play up to standard, and they are playing against some of the best teams in the world, so sometimes it can be a bit skewed, right, in terms of what the numbers are, but they're almost like, kind of, we're halfway there with everything.
The good and the bad is that here's the thing. This is why I actually changed my terminology in CSGO. Everyone used to always say deep map pool. To me, like, you know, how deep can you go in terms of number of maps? But I changed it to be like, that's like how wide the map pool is.
Sure.
Deep should be like how good you are at each map. So here's the difference, okay? NiP has a really wide map pool. They can play almost everything, as you see there. Basically, Inferno's the only one they can't play and have a chance at winning at. But depth, there's not a lot of depth there. So you see, even on maps that they actually like they like to play Train and Overpass. Of course they do. But would they beat the best team in the world on Trip? Probably not. Would they beat the best team in all of Overpass? Well, I've seen they lose most of the time. So this is actually part of the problem in NIP. Player-wise, they have a whole bunch of good players, but who's going to show up? Map-wise, they can play all the maps, but are they actually going to win on those ones? So they're a team who's almost born to play 3-map series, a million rounds as you see in these games. You don't quite know who's going to turn up. So on the one hand, I actually like to watch them play. I think they're a pretty fun team. I think they're good enough to make playoffs here, certainly, but they're not a team that I look at and I can bank on. Like when they play an underdog team like this, they could also lose any map to them.
Yeah, and that's what I was going to come on to, right? Looking at team spirit and especially like what they've been able to deliver, Disbalance has been a key factor in it. Chopper, we saw him show up towards the end, but he's not definitely living up to the Vega Squadron days where we would literally always say, oh wow, okay, Chopper, just go and hunt them down, right, and do all the damage there. But Team Spirit overall seems to have a bit of cohesion in, like, they have their core lineup, they've just made the recent changes, and they now seem to just have a good amount of firepower, but now it's building upon what they have in terms of map pool and strategy behind it.
I would definitely agree, and when you look at the results right here, I think you can't really blame them for losing to Ents, and you can't really blame them for losing to Vitality. I think managing your expectations in terms of what do you expect from Team Spirit, I think those two games are fair to lose for them, whereas the wins against Tai Lu and Pain Gaming, well, that's also what you would kind of expect. Maybe Tai Lu being the one-off, you know, where you think that's a 50-50. So a team that is coming in, you know, with, as you said, 2 new additions in Disbalance and in Chopper, and they're already now finding the footing within a very competitive Counter-Strike scene. This is a team that we don't really expect too much from. This is a team that we don't expect to go into the playoffs. So if they would be able to beat NIP today, or at least pressure them to the brink of a point where it could go both ways, I think that in itself would be a success story for Spirit.
And that's quite interesting, right? I know Team Spirit are on like maybe the more tier 2 side of things, but they've never played against each other in any competition, never had a head-to-head when it comes to it. Now, what's very interesting is kind of the insta-ban we're seeing from NiP at the moment is Inferno. That's the strongest map there for Team Spirit overall in terms of how they can perform and what we've seen from them. But I think regardless of what map you put them on, if you get some Young, Disbalance and Chopper all firing off, I struggle to see how NiP can match it from what we've seen from this tournament, because they have the individuals to do it, but not at any time have we seen a consistency where we get 2 or 3 of NiP at one time.
I definitely want to see in this game like what the style will be from NIP, because one of the problems I think they have, and it's the reason why they can play very well against the top teams, they can drop games against the lower teams, is they don't really have any kind of like tactical control over the game. Like they run tactics and they have players, but they're not the team that can be like, right, okay, this team we're playing against, like they're playing like a bit too up tempos that slow the game down. Like, they don't do that sort of thing. They kind of just play off, like they play the same way for me against most squads that they're against. So it's tough to get wins against the underdogs when you do that, because then if they're firing all cylinders, you just kind of let them play that game.
I would definitely agree, and I think that's one of the main critique points you can make about this NIP lineup, the lack of adaptation. The fact that you can't really, keep doing it. Get over here. Oh, not working. Anyway, NIP is a team, as you said, you know, they don't really adapt to the opponents they play at, and that's why I think as well they're about to lose, you know, to some of these less good teams, and it's a little bit of a, I'm not sure I understand why that is. You know, when you have a key or coach like Peter, you should be able to form a game plan around the team that you're playing against, or at least just change it a little bit. I'm not saying you should stay away from your own game, because obviously you would feel more comfortable doing that, considering the players you have as well and all the experience you have within the lineup. But not being able to adapt to the opponents you're playing against, that's a very weak sign for a team that has been playing this game for such a long time.
Well, we're going to see the picks and bans come up now. We kind of know where the instant ban should go with it.
The problem right here, if your Team Spirit, is another of your best maps was Overpass. And even though I made this point many times, NIP, they don't have the greatest record, right? They love that map. Like that's a map they really feel comfortable playing. So in this scenario, NIP picking Mirage, strong map for them, one they like to play. The bait here is if Team Spirit goes into it, they don't choose to go Dusty. I like that pick. This is a great map to, I think, as an underdog to try and play.
Okay. Well, I kind of disagree. I think NIP's second strongest map right now is Dust 2. I think they're looking pretty solid on it.
I think it's hard for anyone to be that strong on Dust 2, though.
It is, but consistently they've been able to put up results on Dust 2, or at least get close to it. I think it was at the Blast event in Sao Paulo. They only lost by 1 round to Astralis. At the Major as well, they pushed Astralis to a 16-14. Now we've seen them play against Navi and win it, I believe, yesterday. So it's a map they really know how to play. So considering that's Spirit's map pick, I think NIP is bound for a 2-0 here.
The problem is, though, this is the way the Vitor works. By picking that early, if what you're saying is correct, NIP wouldn't have been banned in that second rotation.
Nope.
So that means you don't get your overpass.
Yeah.
Like if you wanted to play, I don't believe Team Spirit wanted to play Nuke as the third map.
No.
They were
I
forced
agree.
into doing that because there's nothing left at this point in time. But that's just like a little aspect there of where sometimes people aren't like top pros. They don't catch that was the little aspect there. Like, oh, sure, you want to play Dust 2, but you could have also gotten it late. Like,
Yeah, you could have floated it
You could have
until
gotten
the
the
end.
two maps. So
Yeah.
it makes it a little bit more clear cut to me what maps they have to win.
So what has to happen here for Team Spirit, Pimp? Because you just said 2-0 straight away,
Yeah.
right? Is this going to be a situation? Because I still feel like Dust 2, teams are just still trying to figure out. We see good results on it, but we can also see them flop it massively.
Sure.
And I think it's one of them things where, yes, it's an old map, yes, we know how to play it, but it also lends itself to people to come and just crazy frag, and that's certainly what Team Spirit could do.
I mean, the fun thing about this video is that this could potentially have been the other way around. It could have been Spirit who picked Mirage, and it could have been NIP who picked us too. Spirit, a team that we, during the minor and during, you know, this whole growing period, always praised for having a strong Mirage. I think they were at 100% win rate at the map, you know, for a very long time. As of late, though, as you can see, it hasn't really been that solid, especially considering they brought in IS Balance and Chopper. Maybe some inner workings of how they play the map needs to be sorted out, but it could be the case that both teams, you know, got their most comfortable maps, are just gonna play their own game, and we, as we just established, NIP wants to play their own game. So I think they'll be fine with playing a map that they know Spirit is good on, as long as they feel they're in control and as long as they feel that they're the more experienced and the better team when it comes down to the narrow.
Yeah, the interesting thing is, even though obviously NIP has changed players over the years, I'm not going to talk like it's still the lineup from 2014 or something, but they still have some of that same mentality, especially the older guys. Like, what's interesting is when they've played as long as they have, they're not the guys who think like in the modern day approach of like, we're going to break the opponent down, here's what he wants to do, here's his win conditions, how do I stop that? They really do still have the old school mentality of like, it's how well I play. Like, if I play a great game, I should win. If I lose, I didn't play well enough. Like, that can work. That can certainly work if you're not a top team, but you just hope in the modern day you can kind of get an extra chance to win against some of these less experienced teams if you can apply the like modern tactics of how you break a squad down.
Well, that's what I was going to say, right? The breaking a squad down is the way to do it now, right? We've
Sure.
seen it. That's the surefire way to have your best ability in it. So is it time for them to adapt a bit more here? Is that just a logical decision to try and make?
It's
or
like-
is this waiting for the kind of stand-in situation to go and then have a
It's
solidified
like Pimp
roster?
says, like, I have to say, this is one of the squads where if I just looked in the game, I would forget they had a coach. Like, it just looks like the players play the game. I'm not sure. Like, I know when Peter first came in as a coach, after he actually left, he was one of the ones where they kind of implied like Threat was the real first coach they had. You know, so I think back then when you were a coach, it was more just like a mate, someone to just give you some advice, maybe help out one player or something. So I'm not sure if he's there as like moral support or something. I don't know how much he breaks the game down.
No, and I don't either, and I think that's the biggest problem, because you could instantly see when Threat came into this team how NIP evolved from being this like fired up team that just was running around and killing people to become this more strategical, sound team that always had, you know, some sort of foundation to fall back on. Whereas I feel today Peter hasn't really implied any of those, you know, synergies that Threat kind of build up with this team, and I think that's a big problem. We talked about it already, but as you said, you know, Peter also coming from them old guard, you know, of Counter-Strike player who just believes that if you're having a good game, if you're playing well, and if you're playing your own game, you're gonna win. And the reason for you not winning is because you didn't play your own game well enough, you know. And as said, modern day Counter-Strike, there's so much more to it, and if you could just be able to apply a tiny bit of that, you know, mentality to it. I'm not saying, you know, revitalizing the entire thing, but just moving over to the more modern days of Counter-Strike, and maybe, you know, getting some advice from Wes and Draken, who's been playing that you know, newer style of Counter-Strike, then maybe NIP would be a little bit of a different squad that would have an easier time winning against teams like Spirit and lesser good teams.
And this is what we talk about, right, when you're looking at the coaches as well. It's not something that we go over all too often, but surely when you're a coach, well, you have to reinvent yourself a bit at the same time, right?
Is
and
the
I feel
coach
they've
even there?
Yeah, he's sat behind Forest.
Oh,
He is
right,
somewhere,
fair
but
enough.
you can't see him at the
Right,
moment.
okay.
You can
Yes,
go,
you're right,
he
there
moved,
we go.
he
I
moved.
got concerned there because we were just talking about, does he even do anything? Well, literally not apparently. No, fair enough. He is there. He's on camera. We can confirm he's in the building. He's trying to pull a Kane, of course. Like, I can't talk on this headset. Can I leave the venue? Oh, no, the mic's broken. Yeah, my bad.
Look, the point I was trying to make was, we talk about players reinventing themselves,
Sure.
doing the upgrades. What about in a coaching scenario? Because Nip's been in this same lull for a long time now,
Sure.
despite the player changes. And maybe it's time for someone to take a bit more control on it. Could it be him?
The problem is, like, it reminds me of the scenario in FaZe Clan with like an in-game leader, where it's like, it's not that they're all in-game leaders. It's like, is there an in-game leader that they will respect and do what they say? That's the question. That pool narrows really down. So yes, they believed in Threat because, for people who don't know, in 1.6, he was the guy who was like leading lesser teams and sometimes beating them. So that will win your respect. That will make you think, right, this guy obviously knows something because we know we have the better players.
Yeah.
The problem is, in the modern day, I think Nip's one of those teams, a bit like MIBR, that might be resistant if you bring in one of the newer coaches,
Sure.
and he comes in with all these like great approaches and like, I don't know if you'd add in the whole sports psychology element, but you want to bring this whole like new approach. Some of the old school players don't want to do that, I'm afraid.
I think it's a very telling story that we've seen Dennis go from being, you know, one of the hottest prospects within the Counter-Strike global offensive scene. When he was standing in for Astralis a year and a half ago, he was looking so solid. He was looking like the old Dennis that could be potentially one of the best players in the world. He then come into NIP, he gets forced into an in-game leading role, he gets forced back away from it as well, and he basically, I wouldn't say killed his career in NIP, but he's definitely in a point right now where he felt the need to leave the team and get a break from playing Counter-Strike. So something is definitely not working in terms of bringing in new people and elevating them to a new level, or at least keeping them consistently good. And I think that's an NIP and a cultural problem that they have within the team.
Now, never a positive way to go in that sense, especially with Dennis, but maybe he will come back to it sooner rather than later. But quickly, guys, got to get through this because the game is ready. Which way are we going with this? Pimpy, you sticking with that 2-0?
Yeah, I think it's going to be a convincing 2-0 for NIP. It's going to be close maps, you know, 16-11, 16-12, but NIP should be able to take this 2-0.
Duncan.
Yeah, similar. I do think it can be close maps. Like, there's a chance for Spirit to get a map, but this should be, especially with the veto going on Nuke as the last one, it should be a win for NIP.
It's like all three maps are favored to NIP, I feel.
Yes.
Okay. Well, let's see how it goes down. Thank you very much for your thoughts, guys. It is time for us to get into the game, but before that, if you want to grab yourself some new skins, then you can head over to Hellcase and use code SLTV and grab the goodies for yourself. Now we're going to go grab some other goodies. It's James and Dan. They're going to be bringing you this first best of 3.
Well, thanks. I don't think I've ever been described as a goodie before, but I'll take it. And this game, James, I don't think it's as simple maybe as we would look at it from a surface value perspective, because yesterday we saw Spirit able to do quite a lot of damage and looked quite respectable, even though they did lose in 3 maps and kind of showed that perhaps they don't have quite that depth to their maps as Duncan was suggesting, but they do have skill. And we saw NIP making some strange mistakes here or there in some of the past games, making things a bit more difficult for things for themselves, and perhaps things otherwise should have been against Vici, for example. So I actually feel like there is a potential upset that could be possible here.
Yeah, absolutely. As the Desk alluded to, the win percentages aren't really. There's nothing really in the 70% mark or above. Nothing too strong for Ninjas in Pyjamas for Team Spirit to deal with. So there's absolutely a chance for them in this. I actually think that. I think disbalance is going to be a problem for Draken to deal with. I feel like, I don't know, from what we've seen so far, he's such an explosive, violent sniper. I don't know if he's necessarily getting enough respect for what he's capable of. So I think that he could dominate on this map. We are into the pistol. So far, Ninjas in Pyjamas are defending the A-bomb site quite nicely. Can still turn around, of course. We've got a rotation from Get Right towards that jungle position where some of his teammates are for the retake. There's a flank as well, super important, but Chopper's aware of the possibility. 2-man peek, running out of bullets, Draken, and now Team Spirit have opened the map up again.
Yeah, this is a weird one. You execute onto the A-bomb side, and then it's a 3v3 at back and T spawn. Going for the rotation. NIP have a couple ways they can play it, but they hear the running because Get Right's so deep on top mid, so they just basically confirm what's going on. Now the timings are pretty important. They're coming up the 2 steps, and actually they've just going to go for it. They're going to let them pass, and it's up to the duels, and those will be won quite nicely by Let Crow. 1-0 for NIP, very nicely done by them. Good defense, and we shall see a save, I would imagine, from Team Spirits. They'll be wanting to get those AKs out ASAP. And NIP off to a good start on the CT side. I feel like that's the only way that this match really gets out of hand, is if they have that strong 5-1, 7-1 type start on the CT side. But hopefully we'll see some good stuff from Spirit here.
Again, I like that Spirit have started on the T side. All eyes on disbalance for me. I've got 2 eyes, they're both on disbalance. Once the buy round comes in and they've got the AWP. Might not be immediately. 2 Desert Eagles, 3 Glocks, and a flashbang for Team Spirit. They've got 4 players towards the B bomb site. So what is the play here? Who activates first? Coldy's alone towards A with a Glock. So he could be trying to flank, but he's going to quietly start moving away. There is some activity top mid, actually, with the bombs. So maybe they were just spreading out at first to see if there was any kind of push from Ninjas in Pyjamas. That hasn't been the case. NIP don't really need to seek information at this point. It's holding standard positions. Forrest has got to be careful. about his angle because of under the window. As you can see, he gets tagged from there. But beyond that, nothing crazy is happening. Coldie's lurks taken out around the palace. And now a Desert Eagle and a Glock remain as a flashbang for us to have a look. Always important to have your A players flash over the top if you want to peak the mid position around mid or late in the round. Because again, once the possibility of somebody being underpass is a factor, you can't just stand in the window forever, even if no one's top mid. We saw that yesterday. Someone just they took one in a dome from underneath the off angle. The head was showing. And here is the buy from Team Spirit.
Right, what do they have? Looks like they may just go for a set piece straight away. And then people play close to the A ramp just because they have these SMGs still. You don't want to be on the ranges. Wow, are we going to get a balcony burst? This could actually be perfect for Team Spirit, as long as they can get that initial kill on Forest and they can get out this choke point. But that said, Rez and Get Right now drifting backwards into the bomb site. This is going to require a good flashbang for Team Spirit to get out of this. And oh, there comes the smoke, but they're going to commit anyway. The flashbang comes in, and Rez is going to be down there by the T-steps. How much can he do? A double with the UMP, and maybe that's too much. Sumdai Young, though, he is a problem causer for sure. And it's 2 versus 3 for Team Spirit. With a minute left, there is a world where Sumdai Young could actually back away, and they could go to the other bomb site. However, it looks like he still has his eyes firmly set on this A site, and Sotfik has now arrived through to the Palace position. So maybe they can find something with these AKs. They should have favorable duels, but they have to plant the bomb, and that's really where the problem is.
They've got better weaponry, but there are 3 NIP players. So Spirit needs to try and avoid getting traded. Even with the smoke up, how do you not get sprayed if you try and plant for short? This is not an ideal situation. They've probably got to take more map control. That's one way to do it. They will feel safe now in that position, or maybe not. Sumdai Young's teammate was isolated through a Molotov, and he will fall to 1. Sotfik now has 29 seconds. Where is Draken? Still around the connector position for now. Not many other places he could be if Sotfik has an idea, but he's looking towards CT, so maybe he doesn't have all the information in the world. Draken with some perfect timing to start with, but the finish will be with Team Spirit. They get their first round on the board.
Sumdai Young again, he just really he just delivers, doesn't he? That's an amazing 3K, you know, pushing around the site had to be absolutely perfect. Forrest gave him one opportunity, jumping up just to get the information, and he got punished incredibly hard. So Team Spirits, this is the thing with Team Spirit, is that they do have some serious individual capacity. Yesterday we saw some good performances across the entire team. Chopper having his moments, Sotfik as well, Colby. But Sumdai Young and Idis Balance, as you previously mentioned, those are the 2 big names on this team for the individual performances. And Sumdai Young kicks things off well. And they have a real opportunity to take over the first few rounds, first part of the first half, if they're able to take these weapons away from NIP.
This balance edging forward. Who does the smoke favour? Awkward now. Got a teammate in the lower area. Maybe he walks into connector soon. Ooh, that smoke is awkward for Rez. He will fall. No answer from Ninjas in Pyjamas to that. Draken looking towards the Palace. Of course, that scope does have a sound cue, which the T's can hear. So somebody was close to connector. Might become problematic if he scopes in and out. 1 minute on the clock for Team Spirit. Got 2 players up short. Flashbang into that short position. We've got Lecro hiding around a default area. He needs some help. He does have Forest by the door of the market. He'll try to double peek perhaps. A quick tap, another look, and there's Forest activated. Team Spirit often going slowly up the short position, maybe waiting for somebody on the higher ground, and it's cost them. The frag's coming in for Ninjas in Pyjamas now. They've still got the man advantage, although that will be taken away now. Lecro, he survived a long time in that default position, allowed his teammates to rotate, but looks like the bomb's going to get planted.
Bold peek there from Idis Balance. Now down to Coldy, 1 versus 2. We didn't get the bomb down, actually. I thought he had. I think he came off to maybe trade, perhaps confused where Draken killed his teammate from. And now there comes the flank as well. That's really where things get complicated. But Coldy, if Draken doesn't go back to the market window, he actually might be fine. Just spotted there by Get Right, and that's the problem. Get Right, he dies. Now Coldy can try to play the time as much as possible. There's a flashbang. Does he try to reposition with this? Has to pick a perfect timing. Draken being teased. Coldy, can he make it work? No, he will pre-fire around the corner, but it's not going to happen. However, James, they got a bomb down and they killed 4 players. NIP's economy is completely ruined. They are not going to be able to afford much in this next round. Team Spirit have them in a really good position.
Yeah, but Team Spirit's money's ropey as well, so they have a decision to make if they choose to force it up. They probably have an execute to go straight into B apartments. I have noticed in the Mirages that we've seen from them so far that when they are up short and have intentions towards B, it takes them a long time to get through that choke point. Guess it would have been more ideal to have somebody deep in the apartments to have the high ground advantage, but sometimes it's not ideal. And it allowed a lot of rotation from ninjas in pajamas.
Yeah, if they had just like one guy in the apps, it would have made so much difference. And this is a spot where they, in my opinion, they can't save in this position. Because if they save, they kind of waste this opportunity where NIP have so many struggles ahead of them should they lose the round. So NIP will get the bye together. It's actually a lot better than I thought it would be, but still, it's going to be tough if they lose a bunch of players. And if Team Spirit get another bomb down, then Team Spirit start to gain some traction. Even though they start losing rounds, they keep putting NIP in positions which aren't so favorable. And Draken takes a shot, I wonder if that was to the face. He got tagged up heavily, whatever it was, and he will fall back. And now, Team Spirit, they got some fast position on mid. Considering that they don't have much utility left, this is actually quite a good start for them.
Yeah, they've taken plenty of angles away from NIP. And NIP's utility is quite low as well, so we spoke about the flashbangs to peak mid and so on, but they are pretty low to be able to do that. They do have some, so they could opt for that, but they won't be in position to do that at the moment. And they'll have to worry about somebody potentially boosting in the window, so someone's going to have to keep an eye on the jungle position, and that's going to be Rez for the time being. But it will give them 3 players towards the A site, and in that respect, they will be well positioned, at least for a retake situation. There are 3 smokes here for Team Spirit, so I think the usual will be deployed. There are no... Actually, Rez does have a Molotov, which he could drop onto Tetris from... Oh, he's moved up as well. I know, Get right, actually. But there we go. That's a nice start. Rez could drop her molly towards Tetris from where he is if needed. Get right forced away by the flames. Going for the spray. Beautiful stuff from him. Any weapon, he's ready for the spray. Oh, the flashbang as well. And Cody's almost going to get wrecked in the red. That could be a problem. But if you've got a man advantage, the bomb has to get planted.
And there's Forrest coming out there. Oh, that's perfect timing from Midas Balance. Draken will trade him out, though, but the bomb has indeed gone down. And there's a smoke on Necro, which could be instrumental, but he's on an MP9. They're going deep into the Palace position. That's going to do a little bit of damage to Chopper. And there is no kit that I can see. I don't know that there's one on the site either. Cody going all the way around the back. This is beautiful. This timing might work out perfectly for Team Spirit if they can just hold on a moment longer. Draken missing another shot. He's not having the best round so far, and he's the only man left. Chopper finds his Deagle headshot after all, and Draken, he's not going to... He might not even survive here because Coldy is on his case, and he spotted him. Draken spotted him too, though, but 17 HP. Can he survive? That would be huge if he can keep this up into the next round. Looks like he will. But that's a good round from Team Spirit. James, they had 2 pistols and 3 rifles and a really limited amount of utility. They take middle for very little. NIP play a 3-2 setup just to be safe. They don't want to take any risks. Team Spirit go back for an A set piece and they win the round. And I think Draken missed a few shots. NIP don't look so stable right now.
Yeah, that can quickly change. I did think going into this that we would see more devastation from Disbalance on both sides of the map. And Draken, I think this particular matchup is favourable for Team Spirit in that regard. And now they all look to execute into the A-bomb site as well. And with solid Molotovs in the shadow position, in the sandwich position, it is limited what Ninjas in Pyjamas can do against this. So it's not terrible to go for this a few times. Get right up close with the CZ could be an issue, but if the ramp players come out first, then he could get taken down. So Sundayoung's timing's got to be good, but with 2 players in the Palace, I imagine they're probably going to move up quickly. See a smoke in the Tetris position, which might thwart the push from Team Spirit, forces them up, and again, they're against the pistols, and they're going to do not too shabby. Awkward situation for Draken. Another shot missed there. Not a good start for him. He's got 6 kills on the board, but he's missed some important shots.
Yeah, there's a bit of frustration there for sure. And those kills, even though it looks like, oh, well, even if it ends up that they don't win the round, the kills, it's not just getting kills, you know, getting something on the scoreboard. It's damage to the opponent's economy as well. Because once NIP start to maybe get a grip back into the match, it's a big difference between, like, if you miss, let's say, three kills, that is effectively another buy pretty much that's available later on to that team that you're going to have to deal with as opposed to maybe an eco or a save round instead. So it really does add up as well. And I think a hand was showing there, so Modus Balance is going to absolutely ruin Letcro there. Draken, can he survive again with this AWP? Looks like he will. But it's NIP is struggling to have early round impact. And that's it's a curious one, actually. You know, Na'Vi played NIP, and NIP absolutely had no idea how to deal with Na'Vi's T side. Na'Vi have a pretty difficult T side to deal with. They put you in this position where you feel like you can't take aggressions, and at the same time you kind of can't really know what they're doing, which is very scary to play against. And NIP like to get aggressive, and so far they've not found effective ways to do it against Team Spirit, but it's early days.
Once again, back to Old Faithful. It's not broken, don't fix it. If you read that they're on eco again, there's just so little that they can do. Letcro will try and get right on this occasion. Maybe he'll play a bait setup. 4 USPs and AWP, Letcro taking that. Will they check for get right? That's one of the questions. Cody looking to the right-hand side. And now Draken's activated with the AWP. If they can boost him over the smoke and get something, then we could really have an issue. There's bomb plant pressure. Oh, this one is not really working out for Team Spirit. And they've pushed through the smoke to try and take get right out, and that is a huge problem. Only one frag. There were 4 USPs and an AWP, and Draken's only got one of these kills. There's no Kevlar beyond Draken though, so this is still doable for Idis Balance, although the odds have to be lower. Get right. Looking around the back of the palace, Rez still spotting. He has pretty much a minute this balance, so this can be done. It's going to be hard to have a trade frag, but the pre-fire will reveal his position. Now he knows where the AWP is. That's one of the larger threats. Get right starting to move forward. He knows he's got limited time. Hasn't quite checked the stairs properly. And I'd start to wonder if he is doomed in this position. Oh, he's just trying to look everywhere at the same time. That's not quite possible. Jumps over, tagged by the USP. So many places to look. And Ninjas in Pajamas get a very unlikely round.
Idis Balance looks really scary there, honestly. He actually looked like he was finding ways to do it. If Draken takes a step too far, and he has no idea that his opponent's boosted up on that position, he goes down. If he goes down, then the round is really winnable. So good effort, but yeah, it seemed a bit sloppy in the take here. Like all those kind of lurk positions on the site, as I say lurk, you know, those little ninja spots, just seem to all work out at once. So a very disjointed push from Team Spirit, and NIP will capitalize, but the question is whether or not they can find more success generally on these CT sides with the 4 buys. Mid pressure coming in from Team Spirit. Only two players, however. And you can see NIP really want to fight this. Draken finally smoked off. Now Sotfix arrived at the bottom of window, and Team Spirit looked like they should have mid control now, and perhaps a connector smoke will soon be had as well, and they can start to really find some more opportunities with that mid control.
Team Spirit cut the noise. No more smoke grenades for the T side. They will rotate the bomb away from the A area. 3 players towards A already. Cody just waiting for a push. Across their position for a crouch peek. And once again, there are 3 NIP players ready on the A bomb site. No Molotovs for them. Again, a late Molotov can be really nice for a counter. Draken gets off to a good start. Flashbangs on ramp, won't really flash on for too long in the CT position. Almost gets away with a grenade. Rez gets dropped as well as get right. Draken's trying to do what he can, spotting a player from the palace. Always a risky peek, that one. Sometimes necessary. Team Spirit only have 2 players left now. 24 seconds. The bomb plant pressure starts to rise. Where does he go? Needs to avoid trying to get tagged through the smoke. Disbalance delivering another kill. 2 versus 2. 15 seconds on the clock. He's just checking CT, but the smoke will be gone soon enough, and now he's on his own Sotfic. Both players in connector. Someone's got to pull the time there. He needs to deliver this plant. He still doesn't know that there are 2 players in connector. He gets his bell rung multiple times through the box. Trying to play it safe, but ultimately there were just so many bullets through the box, and that will be another round in the bag for Ninjas in Pajamas.
Bomb down though is always nice, and some damage done onto the economy. It's pretty cool actually so far, because Team Spirit, they've showed in a few rounds that they'll take mids and then they'll do something very different. So we saw, you know, them taking mids, they get a B split. We saw them taking mids, they avoid the position completely, take everyone towards A ramp, then do a set piece. they take mids, and we saw the result there. So they are getting mid, and so they're getting lots of opportunities. But I'm wondering how they'll opt to mix it up in their next spy rounds. This is obviously a save. Cody's on an AK-47, and they're looking to go for a B split. This is quite difficult to do if there's no smoke in window or a connector. You don't want Rez getting a multi-frag in middle there. That could be, that just kills the push, and he's going to get exactly that, James, a multi-frag.
They had 2 smokes, but I don't know what the plan with those smokes was. Cody's found an entry on the high ground. CT's already made his way through the door. Forrest getting a tag. He needs some help because he's on his own, and that's kind of awkward, especially at close range. Sotfik blind. He's going for the AWP.
No, the plant, James.
Yeah, I think they're playing for the round rather than the bomb plant. Trying to put themselves in the best position to win. Risks were taken, didn't quite work out. Cody's still by the bench. He has a minute on the clock, but the more he stands in this position, the more difficult his situation will be. Oh, that's a nasty headshot from Cody. 1 versus 2 now. They know exactly where he is, so the remainder of NIP can try to position well. Up close by the window. He's not going to check the other side of the kitchen. Oh my God, Get Right has no idea. Somebody turn around. One of them really... Okay, well, this is very interesting indeed, but if he starts to run too early,
Oh my God.
this is unprecedented. I'm so surprised he didn't check the rest of the market.
Oh my God. Oh my God, James. They have no idea. When do you ever see this happening? Coldy, he could be on for the ace clutch of his life. He's in a 1v2. They must be thinking to themselves, look, you can see Gerrit shaking his head right there. He knows he messed up somehow. Oh my God. Imagine if Coldy, imagine the world where he pulls this one off. He's gone into Palace. They actually have a smoke and 3 flashbangs, but I don't expect them to smoke this position. They're more likely to smoke the T steps. However, when Coldy peaks, he has to get a kill. They'll go on the bomb to bait him out, and he has to kill the first player immediately. He's going for it. There it is. He's behind the smoke. Goes for the spray! Coldy, can he pull it off? Oh, Draken goes for the hold. And that was the right call to make. Coldy still gets the ace. But how did he even get that close, James?
It's just one of those things. Team spirit and margins, small margins, that's absolutely crazy. But the fact that he doesn't check that side of the market as well as his opponent, even once he's cleared the left, why doesn't he clear the right? It's mad.
It is absolutely crazy, yeah. It's like so free to do it. It is nuts. It is... Imagine being his teammates sitting there watching him thinking, what the hell? We all just suicided up mid. How are you winning the round right now? What's going on?
Absolutely wild. Both teams on the buy for this round. NIP 3 rounds ahead. Ooh, completely blind and sure he's going to get taken out. Despite missing the shot, but his follow-up with the P250. Moving behind the smoke now, and Draken gets taken out completely. This is a fast-moving round. I don't know if Rez has been spotted. It's kind of wild in the middle position. Just... that's mad from Rez. I mean, you know, if that smoke is down, it's hard to see if a CT is there. So everybody just went crazy, held W for a while, and now it's a 2 versus 3 in favor of Team Spirit.
Yeah, that's pretty crazy. I like how Idis balance. I mean, it is actually just insane, but I like how he just, there's like a button he pressed, and he just started trying to shoot everything. It's kind of reminiscent to me of like old JW, the pacing of that. But what is going on with these flanks again? I think Lekro's just spotted. Yeah, that's so ridiculous. The timing could not be worse for Ninjas in Pajamas. And now Team Spirit look to get themselves onto the B-bomb site. But Get Right, he's definitely in a position where he can pick up this round still and get the clutch. He decides to go through the apartments. He knows that they're going for that B-plant. He has to walk pretty much all the way, though, because his one friend in this situation is the element of surprise, and he can't possibly sell that out. He needs that element of surprise to conclude in a frag. And Team Spirit had gone to market, so this will be difficult for him.
I wonder if Sotfik might have heard his jump from the position he was in at the time, but he probably would assume he was jumping onto the short area. Either way, he's found his way onto the bomb site now. 1 versus 2. He's got a smoke of his own. Oh, they could have sprayed that through the window, actually. But they're both going to go through the door. Oh, not quite hitting the mark there. And now they can just go around the side of the smoke, and surely there's no way he does this. Really unfortunate for him. From the CT perspective where that bomb is, there are some boxes with a wooden panel next to the boxes. To the left of those boxes, through the wooden panel, you can shoot through the window and vice versa. I did wonder if there'd be some spray like that, but it wasn't necessary in the end. Played a numbers advantage and trade frag instead, worst case scenario. And Ninjas in Pyjamas have ended up on pistols. This is a very rough, kind of dirty start to Mirage, I think, for both teams.
It reminds me of... It does remind me of the NIPVG game, and it reminds me of the Team Spirit game yesterday as well. It's pretty amusing. It'll be interesting to see how this one concludes. Team Spirit in a position to really take over this first half with the money being broken on NIP. They've suffered so many losses. They've suffered so much, as you mentioned, like so much damage that just doesn't seem very like it would happen very often. Like the fact that somehow Coldy gets an ace, you know, in the round that is won by NIP, but he got the ace, he killed all of them, and stuff like that. It's like so much economic damage.
After the 3K in mid as well.
Exactly, and there's other spots similar to that previously. Not quite as extreme though. But we'll see Team Spirit once again finding success in taking over middle. They seem really reliable with this so far, which is good. And now they'll once again go back. Now they've taken middle and go towards A. And I really like this from them. It's some good Mirage basics. Once you take middle away from the CTs, maybe you get a frag. They got a frag in this instance. You get position on the map. You get more information about what the CTs are doing positionally. And then, and you also take away all their information. Now you go for the set piece, and CTs are out of position. They are rotating through CT spawn with Lecro, but they shouldn't be able to hold this.
Morley in the shadow position. I don't know if it really landed in the right place. No, it doesn't look like it has. Rez is still alive for now, but he will be checked for, so I like the meticulousness of Team Spirit in that round, leaving nothing to chance. There is a round on the board for Team Spirit. The money still sucks for Ninjas in Pyjamas. Sundayang's got a nice spawn for the mid position. We'll see if he chooses to take it. Maybe things will kind of calm down now. We'll see some normalcy. And I'm enjoying the early explosiveness from Idis Balance.
Yeah.
Violent AWPer. Pretty fun to watch. So let's see, one player moving up mid. Molotov in the connector position. Now we've already seen Ninjas in Pyjamas win a pistol round with a cameo appearance from an AWP. So I will take nothing for granted.
One thing I like about Team Spirit, although you know these players have way less experience than the majority of the NIP players and all the rest of it, they seem really focused. Like you can just really tell, especially players like Sundayang now, this balance. Nice damage from Lecro, that P250. Surely he's going to go down here. Oh no, it will look like he's going to get another one. However, Coldy will make things a little bit easier, more reasonable. Still a lot of damage for NIP there. Lecro's P250 going quite a long way, but that will be the 6-6, and Team Spirit's still in a commanding position with the economy, and NIP will be spending everything. But yeah, I like the level of focus. Like when you see Idis Balance pick up the AWP and he's going for plays, he just looks so razor sharp. It's the same with Sundayang. They just look so incredibly up for this, which is really awesome to watch. You know, this definitely means so much for them. They're a team that are absolute underdogs coming into this. They've proven, I think, to us that they're all really capable players. Sundayang will go down to the AWP, but they'll go fast up Catwalk. Lecro looking to stop the next one. Oh, that wasn't... Oh, sorry, Forest, I should say. Wasn't a fast kill, but...
Oh my god.
Yeah. 3 players instantly dying. Rez in that connector position. I don't know if there was there a smoke there covering them, or did he just push past it? What happened?
I don't know if there was one around connector.
Yeah.
That was interesting, because normally there's a lot of hesitation from Team Spirit when they get to that short position, but this time it was really W all the way. Okay, one player spotted. He can quickly try to get around the corner because he knows what Rez was due to be covering. What is his read? Seems to be making the right one, but there's surely no way he deals with this angle towards his left. Get right. Has a lot of the A site covered for a plant at the very least. And Lecro will be, I think he was up on the, you can bounce off the window onto the shop shelves and have yourself a nice angle. And there's a round for Ninjas in Pyjamas, but that is not something we've seen from Team Spirit. I don't know what would have motivated them to just run up mid like that. And for the way those kills came down, I have to assume there was no smoke.
Yeah.
By connector, I mean, the fastest way to do it is from outside A, which is something that Forest often does.
Yeah, I just don't know for sure. I mean, if there was a smoke down, I like the round a lot. And maybe Rez just made a crazy spray.
It could be there was just spray. Yeah,
Yeah.
well, I mean, our second server PC isn't on the server just yet, so we don't have the big overlay to see the smokes.
But 7-6 for NIP. You know, Team Spirit, they've had a really good half so far. They can make it even better. I, again, really enjoy watching iDisbalance play. He's looking towards connector, and Rez is there. He's been a problem. 2 players in that position. This is where Team Spirit could get a pick, but looks like it will be the pick for NIP instead, as Sotfik will be able to trade onto Forest, but this frags all over the place. All these bomb sites open, actually, right now. There's a chance for Coldy, and iDisbalance, if he can get over there, he actually hit that one onto Draken through the wall, though, as Coldy gets the plant, but does he get the support in time? I think he does. The iDisbalance has come in. Smoke, push, and it's not going to work out. Now, decisive advantage coming into play for Team Spirit, so long as they don't overstep.
Flank on short's going to take a while. Get Right's got to wait for it pretty much. Going to pop out the window. And he hasn't been seen just yet. Disbalanced with perfect timing, but can he go deep enough? He can't. Rez takes out the frag. Coldy now on the site, trying to buy time for a peek of a flashbang. He knows where Rez is. He just needs to hide at this point. The bomb so far ticked, but he'll go for the headshot instead. Maybe collect an AWP if he's lucky. Looking for it. Won't reach it, but that is another round for Spirit. And we move into the last round of the first half.
Yeah, James, Coldy's turned up today. I have to say, yesterday, it was all about Sumda Young and iDisbalance. Of course, you know, they are the hallmarks of the team. But we did see an even performance, you know, from Chopper, from Coldy, from Sotfik. They're all, you know, doing some damage, kind of steady fraggers across the board. But we're seeing a really confident performance from him here. He's taking these fights within 10 and winning them. Heads-up duels against some of the best that Sweden has to offer. And that is awesome to witness. And they put themselves in the spot to take the 8-7. They've got the advantage now that Coldy picks up the kill in Palace. Another 1 versus 1 going his way. And iDisbalance once again looking like a predator in the middle position with that AWP, looking to find his prey. But NIP have voided the position. They are not to be found there. Although, that was a cheeky push from Get Right. Look at Coldy go, those snaps. They're clean.
I think I'm looking forward to the second half. I think
Yeah,
I think Disbalance is going to be beasting. Honestly, yeah. I think he's going to be very important in this particular game of Mirage. Just the way all the information on the board, the players, the styles. I think it's going to be awesome. We'll see who wins this one. NIP are still with a fighting chance of their 2 Deagles and a FAMAS. Spirit are back in slow mode once again, and it's paying off. Draken taken out looking for information. He got information, not the right kind for him though. And Spirit start to move out of the A ramp position while there's a rotation towards B. A gamble from the final 2 Ninjas in Pyjamas players. And it's the wrong one, but of course they've got to go for it. Flash and a smoke for Forest. 33 seconds for Spirit, being very careful. But this will not be contested.
Yeah, no kit indeed is quite the problem. Have to try to run in and get some headshots. iDisbalance is, oh god, he's knocked Rez down to 1 HP. That is unfortunate. The nade will follow it up. Goodbye, Rez. Forest with the Deagle. Let's see what he's got. Looking to see if anyone will peek in. There's the peek. Sumda Young will take the fights. And that's it, 8-7. What an interesting first half, I have to say. Had some really, really curious spots. NIP, they threatened a really good opening in this game. You know, they won that pistol. They looked like they were poised to have a strong half, but then it just kind of fell apart pretty quickly. And that was from great play from Team Spirit. They had some awesome mid-takes. They were finding value in their mid-takes. So gaining positioning. They were coming out of those mid-takes to try to mix things up, go for set pieces. They showed a good range to their game. And then to top that off, they had some good clutch moments. And we had Coldy performing really well individually. So they've really sent a statement to NIP that, you know, we are not free.
Yeah. This man needs to step up his game in the second half. Cold start from him, despite getting a few kills here and there. Some important ones missed. Maybe the freedom of the T side will be more consistent for him.
Like his 10-key list, though.
Yeah.
Looks nice.
Not bad. Kind of got a futuristic thing going on.
Yeah. Like it.
Rez with 16 kills at the moment. Just shy of leading the server. That would be Coldy with 17. Tight score to begin with. Who does this favour? Team Spirit will start with 4 players on the B bomb site, so they have some kind of hard read maybe. However, it's the wrong one on this occasion, and it will be retake territory. Coldy will probably have to fall back and maybe start down the CT APC. Is it an APC or a tank? Whatever it is. Yep, there he goes. Down he goes. Jump peek from there. Nice off angle. Often got to retreat there, even on a buy round if your teammates are on a rotation. And now here comes a surprise party.
Yeah, a mass from CT spawn of CT players. Draken goes down instantly. Insta headshot. And NIP, got to be careful here. They're starting to get some prolonged engagements. And I just see blue in the kill tracker there, getting those frags. Someone's on the bomb. Oh god, it's getting a bit scary. Can they get him? No, they can't get him in time. That was the play they were kind of going for. And you know what? Team Spirit outfragged them, and they just straight up outplayed them there. 9-7. NIP did get the bomb down. They can go for a force buy. I think that it would not be a bad decision, but AKs out in the third round is always really good for the on a map like Mirage. So looks like they'll wait for that.
Desert Eagles, 5 of them. 4 ninjas in pyjamas. Pure Yoi. 2 players towards A. Made 1. Disbalance finds some meat for his sandwich. Forest is in the palace. NIP players lurking here and there, looking for someone to have a look on the Team Spirit side. And then there were 3. Draken looking for the AWPer angles. Just Eagles, no nades, no nothing. What's this one, the Crimson Web? Marvelous, good choice. It's annoying to buy this in the market because the top of it has a lot of wear, but you can't see the top when you inspect it. So you might think it looks nice and then it just looks like there's a massive skid mark on the top. Nobody wants a skid mark there. I'm sure you'll agree.
Never had to worry about it, James.
I don't believe you. Oh, there we go. You've definitely had skid marks, man. You can just tell just looking at your face.
I mean, I'm a human being, James.
We all are.
I'm a human being.
We were all children once.
We're all flawed, some more than others. Like Riz's about to take one to the face, surely. Although he's good at giving it with that deagle as well. Let's see if he gets the drop on Sophic. No, he will indeed take one to the face, as previously prescribed. 10-7 is score for Team Spirit as they look to increase their scoreline and get ever closer to that magical 16. And we get the AK buy now coming in for NIP, and it's got to be a good one, James, because Team Spirit, as you said, once the Idis balance kind of gets the momentum, with all the options he has to be aggressive on this map, could be pretty scary. And the other thing to mention too is that NIP stylistically, they like to fight. And I think that's also, again, it's going to be something that for Idis balance, if he goes aggressive, he's going to find contact if he wants it.
I miss some of the aggressive, I mean, it's kind of late to say it now because the sides have changed, but I miss some of the aggressive CT strats that NIP had in the threat era. They had like essentially a split of B apartments on the CT side. Yeah. But they have like 2 guys jump out the window and push apartments at the same time. It was so awesome. It's so awesome to see. Although most of the time we saw it, it was the wrong round in that the Ts were mostly towards A, but that's just luck sometimes.
One quick point about why that's good as well is because playing retake on A is not a bad rule either. It's like that's actually not a bad way for the round to go.
Shout.
Yes.
3 ninjas in pyjamas players, top mid. Quickly moving towards the connector position again. This smoke is helpful for the CTs. A lot of people at home will throw it on the T side. Just handicapping yourself by doing that, so don't do it. Figure out how to smoke it on the other side. Now we've got a gimmick smoke. This was thrown by the CTs. You saw it bouncing off the ceiling. And it hasn't quite caught ninjas in pyjamas off guard. They're not showing top mid, so it may have raised the alarm of the possibility of some gimmick play. And there is a smoke of their own, and now they start to move around. 4 players in mid now, with a lurker towards A and a bomb at the beginning of the apps.
Kind of cool how they waited that one out. Idis balance will rotate back towards Ticket, and Colby's already standing there with the FAMAS, so we'd expect Colby to move into the site. Unless they want, I don't expect they want to play 2 from Ticket, although at the moment they currently are. They've given up a lot of position to NIP. NIP have only a Molotov and 3 flashes at this point, and they're deciding to go for B. This is going to be quite interesting. There are 2 players there, of course, for Team Spirit ready to receive them, and the closest player next to that is Sundai Young, and he's going to get taken out. So this is a really good look now for NIP. Only 2 players on the bomb site to worry about. Can they deal with them, or the UMP do untold damage? That's not a bad start. However, the trades will come in, and it doesn't look too problematic. However, Idis Balance has arrived onto the scene. If he gets a quick one, maybe they will entertain the idea of going for this.
His teammate is so far away from him, however, so he needs to just quietly slip out of this position. With Rez spotting a CT deep in B apartments, he was about to throw the molly, but he saw the guy was running away. And I think they probably read that, you know, he doesn't want to take a fight. He doesn't want to fight to the death there where he might die. So perhaps NIP think there's likely to be 3, maybe more players towards the A bomb site. They already had Forest in the ladder position, so they were poised for a split of the B bomb site. So that worked out very well for them. The information, the positioning. Again, they had very good map control there. And that was all the information they needed for them to decide how to close out the round. 4 players look to survive for Ninjas in Pyjamas, and they start to close the deficit. We had a tactical pause from Ninjas in Pyjamas last round, and we'll see what this one is. This is a nice angle. The pretty flowers added by Valve. There was an update to the game a few hours ago. There was a bug. I don't know if it existed outside of Danger Zone. Near, what is it called? Not the boathouse. Yeah, the boathouse. Near the boathouse, there's like a pier, which often has a pistol box on it. But when you break it, you can't pick up the pistol because the debris of the box is in the way. So they made a fix that ignores that if you're trying to pick something up. But I don't know if it has an impact on if there's like a grenade in the way, which some people were asking. Because a grenade wouldn't be classed as debris, so if there was an issue with that, then I would imagine that would still exist. Okay, so there's a tactical pause from Ninjas. Draken doesn't look happy.
Well,
he doesn't look like focused, where you're kind of emotionless. I think he's a little frustrated.
Yeah, I mean, he's not been having the greatest of games so far, but I think, you know, this is the cool thing about Counter-Strike, obviously. When you switch sides, it's such a... It can turn the tables so heavily because, you know, you might have a difficult CT side, but if you have a great game plan on your T side, everything looks different. The roles are more aggressive. If you are struggling to find spots, you're a B player or something on the CT side, now suddenly you can get into the action on that T side. And so, you know, NIP, I think that they're starting to find a lot of success. Again, their players are great when they're dynamic. When you get Rez out there with an AK-47, you know, things can get really bad really fast. Same with, you know, the likes of Forest. I mean, they're all incredibly capable riflers, so they're playing a more dynamic and fast-paced style here. The A set piece will come out, and Team Spirit, I'm gonna have to go for what on God's earth was that? I think you have to play retake. That helps. They are already looking for the flank here. This is actually really nice. Team Spirit, they're going to be in heavy advantage, James, because there's no nades left on them. They've got 1 molly, that's it.
You say that, but there are 2 flanks. If they spot one of them, I would be very surprised if they check for the other. So Draken has shown his card, and Necro will show his as well, but they yield 2 kills out of it, so that's fantastic. Ideally, I think you want to show 1 person there, but if you're going to kill 2 people, then that's the best case scenario. And look at the distraction that runs. Very hard to stop the bomb from being planted now. Disbalance trying to hold off half of the peak from their spot. So far, so good. Oh, of course he does both of them. The smoke, the defuse, absolutely ridiculous. Team Spirit in your freaking face. And they just wiped them all out afterwards. Oh my God. That is just implausible, isn't it? What kind of magic is that?
That is so incredible. Oh, wow. That is, what a display. Idis Balance, man. He is the battle sniper incarnate. Look at that guy go.
I told you
the fact that he
would wreck on this half.
The fact that they get the smoke defuse is unbelievable. Unbelievable. The fact that he gets both those kills prevents anyone spraying from middle.
Why don't they double peek in mid?
Absolutely unbelievable. Yeah, I'm not sure why they weren't both on that angle, but you know what? That is amazing. And we're going to see a smoke rush here from NIP, just rushing through that smoke onto the B-bomb side. Shock and Orbit. There's 3 CTs here ready to receive this. A 4th on the way, and there's no space for NIP. They are getting cut down as they exit the choke points, and they're not getting too much further than that. Stuck on the van now, the last player, Draken with an AWP. A horrible scenario to find yourself in. There's a nice little Prezi for you as well.
That's a really sick angle from the bench position. The smoke was probably dropped by a CT on the other side of this van, between the van and the wall. It's often dropped for a rotation.
Wow.
It's often dropped to allow a rotation through the door for the teammate. You can look over it from the van position, but I haven't seen, because it's something that Team Liquid used to do. Plenty of teams do it. It's pretty much like a default smoke when an execute's coming in to buy time for rotation, hold that bench position, but I haven't seen somebody holding it off angle on the bench at the same time before, which is pretty cool. 12-8 for Team Spirit. A fantastic hold of the B bomb site, and I mean, they're looking pretty damn strong. To win such an unlikely round in brutal fashion like that is pretty awesome for them. But for Ninjas in Pajamas, that has to be very upsetting.
If NIP lose this map, I think that's like maybe the round that comes to mind. When you look back, you're like, you just think that that's where it really started to go wrong. And Artist Balance, he's shaping up to be like, we're going to see a lot from this guy this year. Like we definitely are. Like, he looks so on point. He's so strong with the AWP. He's pulling off some incredible maneuvers, and I am so impressed. NIP, James, they're going to go down 8-13 most likely, unless they get a surprising victory in this round, which maybe that's the start of something. The AWP is not recoverable, however. I don't think. I think it's still in the window.
Team Spirit focusing on, I think they're expecting a boost. They've got 2 guys in the window and 1 in the connector position. They're not quite going to, they're clearing a lot actually of mid with Molotovs. But when NIP start to move into a site, those mollies may have had more value there. But they're all gone now. Just a HE grenade. Rez, how's he getting so much damage out of this? He hasn't killed them, but look at the health. A combined 29 HP, and now comes the execute into the A-bomb site. The bomb plant's looking very likely indeed. The inverse plant from Draken. Get gone close already towards CT. They could push again, but they still got a flashbang for a push into that CT spot. So there is a lot of potential here. Get Right takes Chopper out. Again, Sotfik and Som Dayang have a combined 35 HP. So this is looking really dangerous.
I think there was like a big deal connection through the smoke. They're also weak. They're going to try to trade out here, but this is really dangerous. Oh god, anyone could win this one. Everyone is so weak on both teams. Oh, that's an easy one for Electro. We'll get traded out though, and now it's down to Sotfik against 2. Getro's got the AWP on the bomb. There's no way. What an unlikely round. Oh wow.
How on earth did Rez do so much damage without being fragged at that window with a P250 on 2 players?
I do not know, James. I do not rightly know. But I have to say, that does make this game really interesting, because I feel like NIP were probably just going to get rolled over. But that kind of a round win, that's really going to lift the spirits and bring them back into this one before things get out of hand. Because we don't get that 13-8 scenario for Team Spirit. You know, it's NIP got a bit of cash in reserve, and they can break the money here now of Team Spirit. Team Spirit having to get an MP9 to make sure that they can have as close to a 4-buy as possible. And we're going to get a set piece from NIP. And it's going to be retake territory for Team Spirit. But they do have a lot of grenades, so they should be okay. How aggressive do they want to get here? Colby picks up one. They'll charge him down through CT. And his balance is, I think, boosted actually here. Ooh, he gets the tag. Actually, no, it's not boosted. He's on the ramp. Can't prevent the bomb from going down, but this really looks open, James.
3 on 3. Sotfik can't hold down the CT position. The push of CT was really important for NIP, but it might not be enough. Or might it be? Som Dayang catches Forest off guard. Guess I had no idea where he was. He swings wide. Draken takes a shot, misses. Does he go back early? Quick look, but doesn't go too crazy. He really seems to realize that Som Dayang is not on the bomb. What's he looking for? Oh, there's a smoke grenade in the corner. Does he push it deep, though? Where's he off to? Finding a kit. Okay, he's got a kit. He's got another smoke as well. Oh, what? He's going back again. He's taken too long.
Yeah, that was really tough. That's really tough. A very, very tight round won by NIP there. Oh my god. We have a real game on our hands here.
There was a chance, especially versus an AWP. If he doesn't pick up a rifle to spray, if he misses a shot, who knows? But he could have been closing in on the smoke, which is perhaps why he ran away. But I think there was more to do there. There was more variance to be had. Team Spirit bring the variance, man.
I think the smoke, the first smoke that he right-clicked, I don't know that it went far enough as well. I think that might have been the problem as well. I didn't get a second look at it, but I think when he threw that, I'd wonder. And so maybe he came back and he's like, oh, that smoke actually doesn't cover the bomb at all.
Just beyond the kit, there was another smoke a bit further, but all the back and forth was wasting a lot of time.
Yeah.
When the bomb is fairly ticked. So that's why I said like, he's got another one, because I thought he was running to go and get that, not just running away. But there we go. It's high pressure in the first map of this series. Absolutely crazy stuff so far.
Yeah, indeed. We're seeing some really interesting rounds. All right, so NIP, they're going to have a solid shot to get to an equalizer, or close to it. He should win this round. I say he should. Obviously, they won a very unlikely round. It's an AK on Sumda Young. He's got a kid as well, so P259 disbalance, 5-7 on Chopper. There's definitely potential here. Tees will run through their own smoke on Connector and find a way into the A-bomb site. Where is Sumda Young? He is...
He's right there.
He's on CT. Okay.
In red.
There's not much he can do that now. He needs his teammates to help him out. Are they going to go and save? They might.
He needs to save, yeah. He's the only person with Kevlar, so he can't really throw the AK to somebody else. 10 HP and a kit. Just save all of that.
He'll die if he stands there, though, I think, with where the bomb is planted, won't he?
He's towards B.
Oh, there he is. Oh, it's Coldy. Okay. I keep misreading the names. Oh, well. It's all good. He is safe. He is VIP. Sovik trying to collect a weapon here and see what he can do. Wow, did he pick up? Is he actually? Oh my days! He almost killed Get right there. That's hilarious. Maybe okay. Sovik definitely won't survive. There's no way he survives
with no Kevlar. I think with Kevlar he would take 2 HP of damage there. Without Kevlar, I don't know. That depends on where the bomb was planted as well. I didn't even see.
I think that's why he went for the peak as well. He's like, well, might as well just try to kill someone if I'm going to go down. All right. 11-2.
11-12, Dan. It's your turn now. I'm the one who doesn't get sleep.
Yeah,
you have no excuse now.
Yeah, I feel great.
If any of you follow Dan on Instagram, he's basically come with a truck of drugs.
Not quite drugs. It's supplements. It's not quite the same.
Whatever you want to call it, Dan. Yeah? Drugs.
Yeah, just bring in all the drugs into China, of course.
All permitted drugs. Paracetamol's drugs.
Yeah.
Yeah, I wasn't implying, trying to paint
the
town white or
away.
something. Yeah. 11-12. Ninjas in Pyjamas start slow. Maybe expecting some weakness in the buy of Team Spirit. Might be looking for a push or just changing the pace or just fear/respect for Disbalance with his AWP.
Disbalance.
Oh, that's awkward timing. The repeat when you pull out a grenade, brutal. You just know, like, oh god, man. Times just slows down. The corners are so far away. Get right gets picked off as well. What's going on?
Wow, everyone's getting picked off one by one. Okay, this slow approach from NIP, where they sort of try to lurk all over, all over the map. They're kind of giving opportunities here. Crouch peek from Rez finds the AWP. That's the thing. Out of balance, I don't think he's played BAPS yet. So there's a bunch of rounds where Rez goes to that crouch peek, gets the 1v1 against a rifle. This round, out of balance is there, so that's easy. Easy does it for Team Spirit. They'll pick up this round most likely. They may do so flawlessly, which would be a really, really big win considering how poor their economy is. Forrest knows his shadow's showing, so he's trying to bait it and go for the duel.
I wonder, with 20 seconds on the clock, is there a world where they... Actually, I don't think it's worth it to just try and run the clock down. Just take him out. No messing around. Too late in the game for that in the first game of this best-of-3 series.
This is looking really doable again for Team Spirit, James. They
look awesome, Dan.
They look great. They're actually really exciting.
It's not about doable. They look awesome.
They're an exciting team. The great thing is that it's always so cool when you see an underdog team and you're like, hang on, these guys can play. And then you start to watch them more and you're like, oh my god, these guys are actually individually very good. And then you start to see, hang on, they've got some good team play. They have a good grasp for the fundamentals of the game, how to play T sides, how to play CT sides. Yeah, there's holes here and there. They're not polished, but there's this boatload of potential, and also for all those players, this experience is monumental. And they are so laser focused because of what it means to them and their careers, how early it is in their careers comparatively to NIP players who are very tenured on the whole. Rez being the youngest player with Draken. I guess Lekro's, he's been at it for a while though. Mid-take from NIP. They don't have the best equipment. Deagle, UMP. 3 smokes left, 2 Molotovs, 2 flashbangs. It's not a great look, actually. It's going to be hard to take in sight unless Team Spirit give a pick, but they're playing passively, so it should be difficult, if not impossible, for NIP to find a preemptive pick. They're playing a retake, actually. This is very interesting from Team Spirit.
I wonder if straight up executes are a solution for Ninjas in Pyjamas on the A side. We saw them creeping out here and there, getting picked off one by one. Team Spirit happy to hold the angles with the Augmenter as well. It gets a little easier to do that. Look at the timing. There they go. There's a deep smoke grenade as well. This balance will have a quick shot. And NIP, well, they're going to force their way through a short position. Will their timing be right, though? Lekro jumps and avoids the shot. Get right still alive for now, but so is Disbalance. It's a big problem. That's the bomb in apartments now. And Disbalance is just buying time for his teammates to rotate. The Molotov will force him away. He can fall back behind the van, but he will fall to the flames instead. And Sum Young's got 15 HP and 17 seconds to stop this plant from going down. Oh, he was so close. Draken in the red, but he manages to survive. These really are going down to the wire.
Oh my god, that was so close. Considering that they stacked 3 players on the B bomb site, you see Disbalance in the B apartments, you just expect that that's going to be a 1 round. I'm actually so surprised he eventually got the kill and get right. But if he was to get the kill and to get right much more quickly, I think that round falls apart for NIP. But because he was so occupied, they were able to get easier duels moving into the bomb site and then deal with him with a Molotov in a more considered and deliberate way. So that was so close. Team Spirit probably going to win that round most of the time. So very pivotal round 1 by NIP now. And Disbalance, I'm not sure if he'll be able to get the AWP again. They did survive a previous round winning it with 5 players alive. So I'm not sure if that gave them enough money. We'll find out in a moment. Okay, well, so yeah, he's going to have an AWP. So that's good news for Team Spirit. But NIP now 12 to 13. NIP have no money. Team Spirit have no money. No one has any money. Everyone's poor.
NIP moving out the mid, moving up top mid. 2.5 players. Get right, just staying a little back with the bomb for now. Some spray towards the connector, and there is somebody there. 1-2-2 set up for Team Spirit. Disbalance again continues to be a problem. I don't know if there is an answer to him in this series. 2-1-2 now for Team Spirit. NIP, it's your move.
Should change his name to I Body Everyone. So the creep through connector for NIP. Pretty good setup overall for Team Spirit to deal with whatever they need to.
Did he mean to do that?
I'm not sure, All right, well, Disbalance, he's nipping at the heels of these NIP players as they move their way through the connector position. He can't get another one, but he did. Oh, he did get it. Okay, well, that was very fast. And 2 left for NIP. It's not going to be easy. And it's definitely not easy now. It's up to Draken with the AWP against 4 players, and the bomb is lost in connector. That seems impossible. Nice start, though. But he does get hit by a lot of damage, though, and that's going to send him falling back. There's nothing he can do from here.
Yeah, AWP will be rescued for Team Spirit as well. Sotfik is in position to switch out for his UMP. Disbalance, man. I just knew. Sometimes you just know everything comes together and you just feel like stylistically this guy is just in a great position to succeed.
Yeah, he's doing a really phenomenal job so far.
On this map versus this team.
The first pick was really nice onto Lekro standing up. I mean, it's one of those spots where your brain, after playing a lot of Counter-Strike, you know that that's like one of the most likely places that someone will be. But here you can see kind of the speed. Just Bosch, he's already, that's what he's looking for on that peak. He stops the peak.
It's a brazen peak from Lekro, though.
Yeah. Yeah, it is a bold peak.
with no smoke in the window, you don't want to be up there. You saw on the first half, you saw Draken, there was smoke on short, and when he was on the left side of the window, he was looking up there for a peek. Because you can have a fast peek in certain spots as a T, and when I say fast peek, I mean you're not like just hovering in midair. You could just jump onto a barrel or a box quickly, but every sniper knows that's possible, so they'll be ready for that. Sometimes they're looking up there, sometimes they'll be looking to the right. So it was a high variance position to be in, and disbalance. He demands more respect.
Well, here it is, round number 27. Team Spirit with another better buy than NIP. NIP going through underpass. Draken now taking the position that Lenker had before, looking to catch Idis Balance. You know Idis Balance is hungry for the kills, and he's actually on ticket right now, so he's playing more passively. And that's going to be a fantastic position to peek Connector later in the round. It does feel like that might be an objective here for NIP. They're moving the bomb actually towards... Oh, that's that timing. That is a beautiful pick. But they're moving the bomb towards the entrance of B apps, so I'm not sure exactly because it's been dropped now. As Forest looks towards a pick, perhaps. There's two players in the B apps. Chopper's close with the MP9, and Someday Young walking past. Get right. Oh, Get right. He spotted it. Oh, God, that was close. Gets the kill.
Again.
Yeah.
Why does it keep happening?
To Get right, of all people.
At least he's gone 50-50. Chopper slowly edging forward. So close to the head Forest. So close. Now 3 remain. They will have a primary weapon. The bomb has to be collected. They might fear a push from the CTs, which would find that. This is killing a lot of time for Ninjas in Pyjamas. You can see Lekro going past the angle now. But what do? Do they feel compelled to go to the A-bomb site? Seems they will risk B. Probably reading that one person's looking deep here, so they could force it, but he doesn't win the duel despite the flashbang, despite Chopper being blind. Now the bomb's been lost, and that's not going to be recoverable. There's nothing they can really do in this spot. There's no way Draken gets through B, up to that kitchen and back to B, while clearing it to plant this bomb. 2 people here now, and he can't really hide anywhere to save the AWP. It's all going to be lost, and we're looking at game point for Team Spirit, unless they both double pick with 3 seconds remaining. They didn't need to do that, and there's a team kill at the end as well. Sotfik, he's like, I'm here, guys! Chopper's the one to take the shrapnel, but it is game point for Team Spirit, and the money for Ninjas in Pyjamas is pretty damn bad.
It is less than desirable. It is suboptimal. It is
It kind of
inadequate. It leaves much to be desired. What can they do with it, though? It is an IP after all. They've got a lot of individual ability. They just have to get their players into position. And to do that, they have some utility to create some space, to cut off some angles for the CTs, and to get onto that bomb plant and get that post-plant pressure coming in. But speaking of which, Coldy will jump up, takes a risk, and he will receive the damage. A trade coming out, though, Someday Young getting Rez peeking before the smokes bloomed. And a 4 versus 4 now, as there is absolutely a chance here for an IP in the post-plant. Although Lekro will go down to Idis Balance. And those smokes will start to run out soon, and the CTs will start to be quite the imposing presence.
Light on grenades. A 1 deke from Forest, that helps, but he has nowhere to hide. Although they will wonder if there will be a trade kill attempt. Forest and Get Right taken out now, and it's Draken with a Desert Eagle to try and stop the game from going to Team Spirit, but he'll be unable to do it. Swatfik's got a kit, he's on the bomb, and that will be the round and the game. 16-12 for Team Spirit over Ninjas in Pyjamas, and that was a very enjoyable game of Counter-Strike on Mirage. I expected, again, like an explosive style from Disbalance. I thought he would succeed in this particular matchup, and he definitely did that.
Yeah, I mean, he's as soon as he got to that CT side, things really started to get interesting, and I felt like he mixed it up. You know, with AWPers like that, sometimes you wonder, is he just going to take it a bit too far? Is he going to get a bit too big for his britches and be a bit too aggressive? But we saw, you know, some restraint on the CT side. Sometimes he'd play a passive position in the B apartments. We found him around ticket booth sometimes. Sometimes he's peeking window. Like, he moved around the map quite a lot with different paces. So he's showing that he's pretty well-rounded. Also, with a pistol or an AK, he's actually pretty legit as well. So it's been pretty fun to see the fact that Spirit do have some hard-hitting players, and they have some good gameplay, like good calling, good strats. I'm excited, James. This could be an upset.
They've got clutch as well. Plenty of clutch. Thoughts of the desk on that one after the break. See you soon.
Cool, right? Want to know where I got it? Well, look, go to CS.money. It's a trade platform and a marketplace at the same time. Just choose, click, and get. Good luck, bro.
Case. Big update and new features in the case battles. Updated and convenient interface with new options. Up to 4 users can participate in one battle now. Create and customize your battles, any number and any type of cases. Choose the number of participants and invite your friends with a unique link. Watch the best drop and win everything. Don't miss epic battles on Hellcase.